Welcome to Calling All Kids. I'm your storyteller, Jennifer Temple. I'm so glad you're here with us today, and I have many friends that are joining me here in our classroom to hear the story. So let's introduce who we have here today.
My name's Hannah.
My name's Dylan.
My name is Natalia. My name is Jocelyn. My name's Shailene.
I'm so happy you're all here today, and I'm happy my friends at home have joined us as well. Now, we are going to read some fun stories today, and I bet the story sounds a little familiar. Have you all heard of the story Little Red Riding Hood?
Yeah.
Yes. You haven't heard Little Red Riding Hood?
Well, I have, but not like.
Oh, not this one? Great.
I read like every kind of Little Red.
So Little Red Riding Hood is a little girl that goes to her grandmother's house to bring her some goodies because Grandma's sick. And when she goes to Grandma's house, who does she meet, Natalia?
A wolf.
A wolf, and the wolf wants to eat Little Red Riding Hood. So today we're going to read a different story than the original Little Red Riding Hood,
it's
Dylan.
like a different version.
Yes, a different version. We are going to read one called Honestly Red Riding Hood Was Rotten. And this story is told by the big bad wolf. He's saying, I didn't want to eat Little Red Riding Hood, and he's going to tell the story to us today. Are we ready to hear it from the big bad wolf's point of view? What is it?
I was going to say, we've been reading lots of James Marshall books.
Yes.
Yes,
you knew the author there, James Marshall. All right, let's get started. Are we ready?
Yeah.
This is called Honestly Red Riding Hood Was Rotten. And this is the story of Little Red Riding Hood told by the wolf. And let's get started. Put on my glasses. Here we go. There's some great pictures in here. Chomp, chomp. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just finishing my lunch. My name's Wolf.
Okay.
Big, bad wolf. You may have heard of the story of Little Red Riding Hood about a girl and her granny. Seems everyone has heard this tale, but my tale is different. Did I say tail? T-A-I-L. That's the kind of tail you wag, that the wolf wags.
Yeah,
I meant to say the other kind of tail, the tail that's like a story. Are you ready to find? Yes. Once upon a time, I ran out of food. Completely. The cupboards were bare. The freezer too. And I'd eaten every last vegetable and fruit in the garden. Every last one. Our wolves might have lunched on little forest creatures like chipmunks, bunnies, and squirrels. But I'm a vegetarian. A vegetarian does not eat those little animals. That's right, I don't eat meat. Well, I try not to. I love apples, like Honeycrisp apples and Pink Lady and Golden Delicious, any kind really. But sadly, it was a long time until harvest time for apples, apple harvest time. I haven't eaten in weeks. My stomach was growling and howling. Would your stomachs be growling if you haven't eaten in weeks?
Yeah.
Yes. It even roared. I was so hungry. Sniff, sniff. I took a whiff. What was it? A little girl. Sniff, sniff. I took a whiff. What was it? Cakes and butter. In the forest, I had to investigate. So do you think that's Little Red Riding Hood coming?
Yeah.
And there she was, Little Red Riding Hood. She looked as plump and juicy as a big, sweet apple.
Nope, that's not.
Little Red waved her cape about and said, "Isn't it pretty?" she said. "Yeah," I said. "Aren't I pretty?" said Little Red Riding Hood. Was she admiring herself in the puddle? A puddle's kind of like a mirror, and you can look in it and see yourself, and she just thinks she is just beautiful. Do you think she's beautiful?
Yeah.
Yes, look at her. With this cape, she said, "I'm even prettier than usual." Boy, someone sure was full of theirself. And my stomach growled. Do you have a question, Hannah?
everybody's pretty. Nobody's
Yeah,
not.
that's
pretty.
right. Everyone is pretty in their own way. I love that. Yes, yes, Natalia.
I just found the book right there.
Oh, there's another one over there.
There's like
Good
two
job.
copies.
Yes.
And I found out she kind of looks like a plum.
Yes.
But she's a big circle.
But what was the wolf saying she looked like? Did the wolf say she looked like a plum?
No,
she looked like a apple.
An apple. Let's keep reading.
The apple is
Little
like a
Red
hole.
Riding Hood twirled a strand of her hair. Mother says the cape looks grand with my skin. My skin shines like pearls. Or the meat of the inside of a juicy apple. What colors when you bite into your apple? What color do you see? White. And that's what her mother thinks her skin looks like that.
Whitish.
Remember, I hadn't eaten in 2 weeks. Time to chomp, said the big bad wolf. So he is just drooling. His stomach is growling. He wants to eat her.
But he doesn't want
But then Little Red Riding Hood said, I can't wait until Granny sees how pretty I am today. I'm bringing her cake and butter from my mother. My stomach howled. Whose stomach is howling?
the wolf.
The wolf.
The book is telling about.
2 meals. I can eat Granny and Little Red Riding Hood and the cake and butter. Where does your granny live? I asked. Little Red Riding Hood pointed. Down there in the clearing, the little brown house. I know that house, and I had a plan. Should Little Red Riding Hood be talking to a stranger? No. And telling where she's going? No.
Or he might eat it.
That's right. Let's play a game, said the wolf. Little Red Riding Hood smiled. I'm awesome at games. I bet you are, I said. You take this path and I'll take that path. And let's see who arrives at Granny's house first. I will, said Little Red Riding Hood. I'm the prettiest and the fastest. I bet you are, said the wolf. My stomach moaned. Before it groaned, I ran. No one knows the forest like I do. I chose the shortest path. So he told Little Red Riding Hood to go down the longest path, and he took the shortest one. Why do you think he did that? Why do you think, Hannah?
To make her to eat the granny first and probably made up with Little Red Riding Hood to eat both of them.
Okay, let's see. Here
But
we
in
go.
the originals, I saw
The little original
and
Little Red Riding Hood?
saw a cartoon. There was just one episode because that's just a book, and that was so it was the same thing as that, but the granny was like,
Oh, let's find out if she does that here, if she fights back with the wolf. Are you ready? Sniff, sniff. I took a whiff. What was it? Apple air freshener? Tap, tap. I knocked on the door. Who's there? Called out a voice. Your granddaughter, I squealed. I brought you cake and butter from Mother. Doors open, said Granny. Is it really Little Red Riding Hood?
No.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
Granny tugged at her nightcap. Green, she said. Isn't it pretty? Pretty like a Granny Smith apple, I thought. Aren't I pretty? Said Granny. You must have learned the saying, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Well, it's true. See here, who was talking about how pretty she was?
The granny.
Granny was, and who was the other character that was talking about how
Little.
Little Red Riding Hood, right? Was talking about how pretty she was. So Granny and Little Red Riding Hood are doing the same thing. My stomach roared. What's that noise? Granny asked. Chomp, chomp. I had to eat her. She was no Macintosh apple, but not too bad. I still felt hungry. Oh no! The wolf just ate Granny.
So that part is still true.
So that's like the original, right? Let's keep listening.
Okay.
Tap, tap. Little Red Riding Hood knocked on the door. Who's there? I called out, crawling into Granny's bed. Your granddaughter, Little Red Riding Hood said. I brought you cake and butter from Mother. Doors open, I said. Little Red walked in and caught a glimpse of herself in the mirror. "Isn't my cape so pretty?" she said. "Aren't I so pretty?" I clenched my teeth. Because do you think he wants to eat her up?
Yeah.
Can you all clench your teeth? Ugh, he's just like holding himself back from eating her. "Granny," Little Red Riding Hood said, "what deep dark eyes you have."
Okay, that's it.
I said, "the color of apple seeds." "Granny," she said, "what perfect ears I have." I said, "shaped like sharply cut
At the last
apple slices." Do those kind of look like apple slices, her ears?
Yeah, at the last one.
"Granny,"
like,
she said, "what pretty red lips I have." I said, "red delicious." "Granny," she said, "what lovely skin I have." What do you think happens next?
Eating.
Who's going to eat?
The wolf.
Let's see.
At
Ready?
the last one.
Chomp! Chomp! I ate her up. What can I say? Things look different when you're hungry. She was no Fuji apple or Crispin apple. In fact, to be honest, she was a bit rotten. But she was better than nothing. Plus, I got dessert.
Oh, wait.
What was the dessert?
The cake and
The
butter.
cake.
Yeah, so he ate Granny and Little Red Riding Hood and the
And the
cake
cake.
and the
Most of the
dessert.
story
And the butter.
Now, it ends right there. In the original Little Red Riding Hood, who comes along and saves them? Does anyone know who saves them?
Granny.
Well, Granny saves them in one book, and also there's
No, I saw it in the cartoon.
in the cartoon. So in the cartoon, Granny saved them. And in this book here, a woodcutter hears all this noise in Granny's house, and he comes in.
There was 2 episodes, and that other episode was the one with that.
Yes, and then Granny was saved, and so was Little Red Riding Hood. So this one, they're saved, but in this one, did they get saved? No. But remember, this is told by the wolf's point of view. So maybe he wants us to believe that he still got to keep them eaten and in their belly. Are you ready to see another version of Little Red Riding Hood?
Yeah.
This one is called Ninja Red Riding Hood.
Because she's a ninja.
And this is by Corey Rosen Schwartz. And she is a ninja. What's a ninja? What kind of sport do you do? Do you know, Jaylene? If you're a ninja?
Like you do karate.
Yes, it's a kind of karate.
Martial arts.
Martial arts. I love it, Dylan. Yes. Do you want to add something, Natalia?
Yeah. I have a friend who goes to Taekwondo.
Taekwondo is
And-
another type. Yes.
And I go to this place called Jiu-Jitsu, and it's kind of like karate, but you just like wrestle.
Okay, so very similar. So let's
different.
see if you can make some connections to what happens in Ninja Red Riding Hood while we're reading. Okay?
Okay.
Once upon a time, once upon a ninja-filled time, a wolf couldn't catch any prey. That means he couldn't get anything to eat. He kept getting licked by the dinner he picked and was growing more ticked by the day. Tick means he was getting upset. He couldn't catch his dinner. So he snuck into school to be trained to become a ninja.
He's right there. He's a big one.
Can you see him up here?
Yeah, he's a big
Is
one.
he the only wolf in the class?
Yes, he's a massive one.
He is a very big one.
Yeah, he's
So
like
let's-
Willy.
Here we go. He practices katas for hours, and he mastered the whirlwind and wheel, the jackknife and flipped, and at last felt equipped to once again catch a good meal.
Oh!
He's going to go and try and catch a good meal using his ninja skills.
I found out that,
Do you need I need to go back to that page?
yeah,
What did you find out?
that first he got different kind of belts each time.
Oh,
Now he's
yes.
got a black
So
one.
as you learn, you earn different belts. And what's the highest belt you can get?
Black.
Black.
The black
And
belt.
Even at Jiu-Jitsu, I was about to get the yellow belt, but now I am because I still have the same rope.
Oh,
So I still got 3. Now I
Great.
need 2 more to get a different belt.
Congratulations. Let's find out what happens. Now he has his black belt, and let's see if he can catch his food. Drooling with anticipation, he set off in search of some meat, while deep in the wood he met Red Riding Hood. "I'm bringing my mother a treat," she said. The wolf licked his chops, and when he saw her, and hastily thought up a plan. "There are blossoms that way. You can pick a bouquet to give to your little old gran." So the wolf is telling Little Red Riding Hood to go and pick some flowers for who?
Her granny.
Her grandma. And while she was doing that, what did the wolf do? The wolf took a shortcut to Grandma's, where he thought that he'd find her in bed. But Granny was gone. So he put on her robe and eagerly waited for Red. So now the big bad wolf is dressed up like Granny,
Why
waiting.
did she say red?
Because they wanted it to rhyme, the author. So red stands for Little Red Riding Hood.
I get it. Okay.
Soon after,
This is
he
my
heard
grandma.
someone knocking. He called out,
Knock, knock,
"My
knock.
dear, come on in. Oh, don't you look good in your lovely red hood? But ashamed that you've gotten so thin." Why is the wolf sad, Hannah, that Little Red Riding Hood is so thin?
Because he wants a big meal.
Yes, right? He wants it to be nice and juicy. Little Red took a look at her granny and said, "What on earth did you do? I could swear that your eyes have completely changed size. Hey, Gran, you sure that's you?" "Of course it's me, my sweet darling. The better to see you, my dear. And your ears," look at his ears, "are so long.
The giant.
Something really seems wrong. Oh, my dear, all the better to hear." Right, Jocelyn? If you have nice big ears, can you hear everything better?
Yes.
Yes.
I know dog ears are cat ears like me.
And those biceps, let me see your biceps. And those biceps, my gosh, they look massive. And your triceps and delts are immense. The better for hugging, her grandma said, shrugging.
Nope.
Dear Red, that's
She's
just
lying.
plain common sense. And those teeth, Granny, they look so much sharper. Why, yes, all the better to chew. Oh, my. Do you think Little Red Riding Hood really knows this isn't his grandma? Do you think, Dylan? She knows?
I also want to say something about that.
All right, just a minute, we'll
And
come
I-
back.
Okay.
He jumped out of bed to gobble up Red, but look at this great picture. What do you think what happened? We know she's what? A ninja.
At the end of the book,
She'd gone to ninja school too. Is she going to defend herself?
Yep.
Look at that. Does the wolf look kind of surprised over here?
Yeah.
Yes.
At the end
She
of the
grappled and sideswiped and twisted and escaped with his clutches unscratched. She attempted a lock, but he managed to block. They appeared to be evenly matched. What do you think that means, evenly matched?
like they're almost matching.
Yes, they both have the same ability in doing karate, right? Or martial arts. I love that.
Or like
That's more like
taekwondo.
Remember, one friend at a time.
Ow, my finger.
Hannah, what would you like to say?
Maybe both of them are black belts, and I see another one that has a black belt.
Yes, I bet you're right, Hannah. Let's see. Just then, they both heard someone chomping. A woodsman? Red thought, but instead it was Gran in her guy. She'd just come from Tai Chi. Don't you dare harm a hair on her head. Who else is a ninja?
that grandma.
Granny is a ninja. Does she look like she's upset here or angry? Jocelyn, look at Granny. How does she look?
Wait, like mad.
She looks really mad because the wolf.
Now all of them are ninjas. That's kind of like the same version I watched.
Yes.
All of them. She's like, "Cool."
They're all black belts. So are they all evenly matched, Jaylene? Yes. Oh, no. So let's see who's going to win. Are we ready?
I didn't know that was the grandma.
The wolf took a swing at that instant, but Red deftly dodged the attack. She got a good grip, threw him over her hip, and the wolf wounded up flat on his back.
I
my
noticed
goodness.
at the end of the book,
Little,
Little Red Riding Hood.
oh, don't give away the ending.
Okay.
Here
no,
we go.
Not that ending page.
I'll skedaddle, said the wolf in anguish as he struggled back on his feet. Just a second. You are not to be released till you promise to give up red meat. What does that mean? So they don't want him to eat
Really,
Dylan, can you tell me?
really wants Red Riding Hood to eat
Yes. And so she's meat, right? So if he gives up red meat, would he be hurting anyone if he gave up his red meat? No, he'd be eating vegetables and other things that aren't people or animals. So do you think he's going to promise I won't have any more red meat?
No.
Let's see. Though his tummy still rumbled and mumbled with hunger, the wolf faced his rival and vowed, Ninja Red, you have won. My meat days are done. Oh, Red Chan, said Gran, I'm so proud. So they got him to say, I'm not going to eat Little Red or people anymore, or animals. Now wait till you see the fun ending. Then Red and the wolf bowed politely, and Gran gave him half her peach pie, because remember, he was hungry. The wolf was a mess. He'd had way too much stress. I guess I'll give yoga a try. Do any of you do yoga? And it kind of calms your body. Good job. So she's hoping, the granny's hoping, that if he learns yoga, that will help him to calm down and he won't go around eating people, especially her granddaughter. The wolf enrolled at the Downward Dog Center, where his tension began to decrease. He studied with yogas, said no to meat hoagies, and felt at last really at peace. Look at him here. Can we all do like we're calm, just like he's doing here? Taking deep breaths. Good job. Let's see how it, and look at, he ended up turning out to be a nice wolf and not hurting Granny or Little Red Riding Hood again. Now these were all different versions of Little Red Riding Hood from the original tale. Can you tell me, Dylan, did you want to tell me something about this book?
No.
Tell us.
No.
The middle one? What did you want to say about?
I was gonna say. That,
Honestly, Red Riding Hood was rotten.
Yeah, I was gonna say that most of the story is true.
Most of it is true. Most of it matches the original.
Yeah.
You're right. Yes, Jaylene, what did you want to say?
Some of the Red Riding Hoods are different.
Yes, they're a little bit different. Do they have pretty much the same characters all?
Yeah.
They all have Little Red Riding Hood? And do they still have the wolf? And is he kind of the naughty character in all these stories?
In the
Yes.
Ninja Red Riding Hood, I noticed that at the end of the book, this is the same thing I do at my jujitsu class.
So you mean from this one?
Like flip it at the back.
Oh, you want me to look on the back here?
She pulls the arm, like pulls it, and that's the same thing I do.
Is that a move you have to do in your class?
Yeah, I when the people is laying down and everyone's done fighting, the other person pulls the arm, but when they wanted to stop, they just pat on the back and then they will stop.
And should we be doing this if just for fun or on the playground or anything? No, we want to do that only when we're defending ourselves. Was Little Red Riding Hood defending herself and keeping? Great. And there are so many other versions of Little Red Riding Hood out there.
And don't
So if
touch
you want to
the
go to the
strangers.
library, you can ask the librarian to help you, and you can enjoy reading those at home. But I am so happy that you all joined me, my friends at home and my friends here. Thank you for joining us today for Calling All Kids and our fun Little Red Riding Hood stories. I
Don't
hope you have a
talk to
great day, and we'll
strangers.
see you next time on Calling All Kids. Can you all wave goodbye?
Bye.
Bye.
Don't talk to
Thank-
strangers.